Firstly, I did not manage to explore the entire map, and secondly, there are two seemingly impossible fights during this mission. Godric, who is constantly chasing you, and the Garrison that is blocking the way forward. So it would be pretty interesting to tackle these things in another video, which is going to be my goal for this video. So to give a quick recap of the situation, the first mission of the second campaign, the Betrayal, has two seemingly impossible battles. Godric and the Garrison. Even though they do not seem hard at first, this mission does not provide you with any town or mines for reliable income. The dwellings around the map provide relatively low tier units, as well as you are limited to a level 10 hero during this mission. All of this, along with the fact that you are being constantly chased. Before I continue, it will also be useful to mention that it helps a lot if Godric does not get logistics during mission 5 of the first campaign, as main hero skills carry over throughout the campaigns. And as luck would have it, I did not get logistics on Godric. However, I did make him into a quite feisty hero, meaning that he will have pretty decent damage and defense. But yeah, that's about it for the recap, so let's get to tackling this challenge. So since the mission is quite short, there is no real issue with replaying it from the beginning. This time I decided to go with the artifact as my starting bonus, since it gives morale, something that I will be needing down the line. I do have to mention something before I go forward. I played the first part of this challenge with a heavy migraine, which will explain my poor performance during some fights. So yeah, don't judge me. As well as don't play strategy games while having a headache. During the regular playthrough of this mission, I avoided the monks, and I got asked why I did not just take the fight, as I would lose a relatively small amount of units. This is why I avoided them. Though coming back after the artifact that they were guarding would be pretty useful, as it would allow me to move further each turn on the adventure map. So the current goal would be to explore the map fully and figure out a plan as to how I'm going to go on forward. While exploring somewhere where I haven't been yet, I found a magic scroll for the confusion spell. Not really a priority, but good to know. So for now, I just did the same stuff I already did before, during my previous video. I went for the unicorns, got the stables, picked up the familiars, took care of the earth elementals and squires, picked up the Cerberus, cleared the skeleton archers, that for some reason were as a single stack this time, which made it impossible to face tank the damage. Alright. Okay, so here instead of going towards the portal, I went upwards towards the footman dwelling. After the fight, I leveled up and picked archery, something that will come in handy afterwards, as I will be using ranged units. And then I saw some succubus mistresses. Now, as a logical conclusion from other infernal creature encounters, one would think that they will be joining you. Oh. Well, okay then. So, instead I cleared some specters. Then zombies, after which I leveled up and got expert logistics. Perfect. So, there is a windmill here. However, it does not give you gold, which is something that I found out quite a bit later. But instead, it does provide resources that you can trade at the trading post. Afterwards, I went up to one of the locations that was revealed by the Hut of the Magi, in hopes of finding a water wheel for gold income or some other useful thing. And would you look at that? Nothing. While going back, Godric caught up to me, but I could just use expert logistics to run around him. While getting away from him, I saw that there was a peasant farm that I could use further on. And after visiting a redwood observatory, I basically revealed the rest of the map that was unexplored. This revealed two more dwellings, one for hunters and one for archers. Okay, so now that the exploration part is done, it's time to deal with Rudger and Godric. So I hid inside one of the sanctuaries for a turn, after which I saw an opportunity to attack Rudger. And here is where the effects of my migraine will start showing, so again, don't judge me. Right off the bat, my hellhounds got hit by the griffin stack. Ouch. After which, I just threw down a bunch of gates with my familiars onto their ranged units. Then their angel came up to fight my familiars, which was also the goal of their ranged units. Thankfully. So I just began taking care of their stacks one by one with my Cerberus, and summoned familiar stacks. Whatever, I guess. Afterwards, I managed to level up 2 times. I took pathfinding for better movement capabilities around the map, as well as swift gating. Okay, so now it's just Godric running around. Perfect. Before I continue on with the gameplay, I would just like to talk about my general strategy and train of thought in this situation. So, judging by what I know from the initial playthrough of this mission, as well as from what I explored now, this is what I have to work with. In terms of additional units, the map contains the following dwellings: a peasant farm, an archer tower, a barracks, a hunter's cabin, 3 howling kennels, 3 demon towers, and an imp crucible. And these are their locations on the map. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but how am I supposed to afford all of this? If I wish to buy out all of the units in all of the dwellings, as well as upgrade them at the hill fort that is located underground, this is the amount of gold that I will need to make each week. Okay, but I might not even need all of the dwellings. So let's just say these ones above ground. But that is still quite a bit of gold. Not to mention that there is also an artifact merchant underground if I ever decide to give him a visit. Okay then, so what are my options? Visit the windmill each week and sell off its resources afterwards. Yeah, I didn't really want to bother with that. And the other option, peasants. Oh boy, am I going to need a lot of them. But before I go on to farm these peasants, I need to figure out the best way of avoiding Godric. As well as I need to capture the hunter's cabin, which is something that I have not done yet. Now, in terms of avoiding Godric, there are 3 sanctuaries located around the map that allow you to hide in them without fearing being attacked. So this is something that I will definitely be using. Especially the one located here, as it is the closest to a bunch of important dwellings. But okay, that's enough strategy talk for now, so let's just get back to the gameplay. So I went around in a circle towards the peasant farm and entered the sanctuary. After which I waited for a while to see what Godric decided to do. Would he clear the hunters guarding the hunter's cabin or not? But, he was just running back and forth. So then I just said screw it and went to clear them out myself. Yeah, slightly painful, but doable nonetheless. And, the tree ants are blocking my way. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? Yeah, I did not really want to do this, especially with a migraine. But thankfully, there is another way of reaching the dwelling, through the other side. So I went for a bit of a detour towards that other side, while avoiding Godric. And wow, he actually captures dwellings? Why are there more of them here? Come on! Oh boy. Well, at least I can get more of them later. Okay, good. The dwelling is captured. At least I do not have to buy them out immediately each week, as they will accumulate over time. So, I just made a run for it. After seeing Godric go towards the dwelling, I was quite curious as to what he would do. Maybe he would actually clear out the other way for me? Yeah, go figure. Of course not. So, I sat in the nearby sanctuary until I saw an opportunity to safely leave towards the other sanctuary. And boy oh boy, did Godric have conflicting thoughts as to what he wanted to do. Since I was about to wait for reinforcements, I thought that I might as well just go underground first and flag the rest of the infernal dwellings. As well as I also had a hunch that it would be possible to do some shenanigans and go past Godric while he's chasing you. So then I went towards the portal, where I cleared the footmen. You have to be kidding me. Next up were the Minotaurs, after which I visited the Keymaster's tent. Went through the portal and headed underground. For the sake of saving movement points, I skipped unnecessary fights and went straight for the dwellings. Okay, more reinforcements. Cerberus and hell... What do you mean? They literally joined me last time! So while I was dealing with emotional damage from this betrayal, I decided to go for the dwellings first. And afterwards, I went to take my revenge on the filthy traders. After which, I reached the level cap for this mission. Oh, and it looks like Godric cleared the unicorns. Nice. That's one fight I do not have to take. Oh no, he's about to get me. Haha, what do you say about that move, huh? Bro was stunned by my moves that he even went forward a bit. Anyhow, since I was leaving, and they were along the way towards the exit, I took out the zombies. I grabbed an ammo cart, as I will be using ranged units further on. Even though I might not need as many shots, but still. Okay, good. So now I just have to wait. For quite a while. So then I just hovered around this area here, and visited the following dwellings when possible. Currently there was no distinct pattern that I saw with Godric's behavior that I could abuse, so I just ran around a bunch and hid inside the sanctuary when necessary. He was usually just running around, ignoring all of my captured dwellings, apart from the single footman dwelling, for some reason. At one moment, he actually cleared the hunters guarding the hunter's dwelling from my side.
How kind of him.
So, after waiting for a little while, I just went for the last horned demon dwelling, near the start of the map. Oh, right. I did not have enough room for additional units. Well, I guess I have to say farewell to the single pit lord. Thank you for your service. Oh, hello there. Well, I guess I have no choice but to go upwards, through the griffins. So I did. Then I cleared the conscripts along the way and went back to my sanctuary. After a short while, I decided to go and grab the hunters from their dwelling, where I also said farewell to the succubus stack. And since now I had more units, I cleared the tree ants to free up another path, one that is much closer to my sanctuary. And while I was on the move, I just decided to go after a bunch of other fights that were left around the map. I went after the Inquisitors here. They targeted my familiars, but I did not mind that as they would not be a significant stack during the main fights. Then I went underground. This is why I hate these things with a passion. I took a peek at what's being sold at the artifact merchant, and yeah, I'm not affording any of that anytime soon. Afterwards, I took out the spectral dragons and grabbed the Ring of Speed. And it also looks like Godric cleared out the fire elementals. Nice. Bada bing, bada boom, and I'm out of there. I cleared the vampires, and then the druids. And then I got lazy and just went back to my sanctuary. Whatever that was, I absolutely missed that something was even there. Oh well. Hey yo, that's quite a distance actually. Did he by any chance get logistics after the fire elemental fights? Whatever the case may be, I have to live with it now. So then I got into a little bit of a back and forth with him, until I finally broke the cycle. And then he cleared the griffins and took the confusion spell scroll. Okay, I hope that doesn't come biting me back afterwards. So I waited quite a while, but then I saw Godric heading underground, meaning that he has something down there that caught his interest. And that interest was these wights that were guarding the hill fort. I initially cleared them when I was checking the prices for upgrading each unit, however, because of this, he would only stay above ground relatively close to me, meaning that I had lost my advantage of keeping him away. Alongside this, there were always stables near him, meaning that avoiding him became even more tedious after he gained the bonus. So then I eventually loaded to a save that still had the wights, and I developed a pretty efficient strategy for keeping Godric at bay, while also picking up units from the nearby dwellings. I kept at this for basically the rest of the time until the main fights. So, about the strategy. It basically goes in the following loop. At the start of each week, I pick up the hunters. Then I go for the archers. Afterwards, follow the footman dwelling. Then the peasant farm. And after that, I waited for Godric to show up above ground next to the underground entrance. When he does that, I go inside of my sanctuary. This whole strategy works in a 2-week loop, as 1 week Godric will be further away underground, while the other he will be closer to the underground entrance. But this only affects how long I have to wait at the peasant farm, nothing more. I ended up not going for the stables, as there's absolutely no difference in my case with how the loop turns out. While on the topic of strategy, I would also like to discuss another topic, morale. As you may or may not know, morale allows your units to potentially get another move faster than usual, as well as the opposite effect. This is determined by the morale attribute. I'm not really going to go too in-depth on all of this during this video, however, I will mention some relevant parts. So, to simplify everything, morale should be either 0, or in other words neutral, or higher for the previously mentioned bonus. Anything below 0 has a chance of a negative effect. Now, in my case, while having only Inferno units, I can get +2 morale on my Cerberus, where +1 comes from the fact that Erasial is the same race as the units, and the other +1 comes from having more than one unit stack of the same race. And you can see the differences from my examples on screen. Though it isn't all sunshine and rainbows with the availability of units during this mission, in general, Heroes 5 units divide into 2 different alignments, good and evil. And if you would mix units from different alignments, morale will be affected in a negative way. So while having a single stack of a unit with an opposite alignment, I have -2 morale on them, because Erasial is a hero whose alignment does not, well, align with the units. Though by having more than one stack of the same race, the unit's morale also increases, as seen here. However, the effect does not work if there is another race of units in your army, even if they are the same alignment. Now, by combining my evil and good alignment units, each stack loses a point of morale, and then an additional point of morale will be lost if another opposite alignment race is added. Thus, my lowest morale on a stack of units is -4. This means that I will need at least +4 morale on Agriel for them to be neutral, and this is where the starting artifact comes in use. While it only gives +1 morale, which is not enough to cover the rest, there are other methods of boosting morale for your hero through adventure map objects. And there are 5 different available objects around the map of this mission that improve your stats for the next battle. These objects are 3 Idols of Fortune, 2 Fountains of Fortune, 3 Tattered Flags, 1 Lake of the Scarlet Swan, and 2 Fountains of Youth. If the visiting time is optimized, we are looking at +4 morale. Nice. Now, not all of these objects give morale, but luck is also something that is always welcome. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to mention about morale, so let's continue on with the gameplay. So anyhow, everything was going smooth sailing until... Excuse me, what? After taking a look underground, it looks like he just teleported to the beginning. Okay. I checked what time it was, and it was the 3rd day of week 1 of month 13. Now, I'm guessing this is tied to the scripting of him appearing on the map, as he also appears on the 3rd day, but instead on week 1 of month 1. So, I'm guessing that this will happen in a loop after about 12 months pass, meaning that this will happen during month 25, 37, 49, and etc. At least this is my guess, since I currently did not feel like waiting another 12 months to see. But I was curious about one thing. What if I kill Godric and then wait for the time for him to teleport? This, on the other hand, was something that I was too curious not to try out. So I loaded to a previous save that was not too long before Godric teleporting back. I went to grab the stat bonuses on the way that I could and went underground to get some extra reinforcements. I was in a situation where I needed to make a decision as to what exactly am I going to get in terms of units for the fight. There were a lot of units to purchase, a lot more than I could afford, as well as I needed to go and upgrade the ones that I have, plus the ones that I would buy. So I decided to buy the Hellhounds in one of the dwellings and headed towards the hill fort. Oh. Right, I still have to take a fight before upgrading my units, which will remove the current morale and luck bonuses afterwards. Damn. So instead, I bought out all of the Hellhounds from the 3 dwellings and headed slightly towards Godric in order to perform another juke. And oh wow, he is actually running away. Now that's interesting. So then I decided I will also get as many Horned Demons as possible and continue to chase Godric. I caught up to him and prepared for the fight. Since the Cerberus stack was relatively small, I decided to get rid of it in order to split up my hunters. Right away, I have to say that I did not play this fight all too good, since I just wanted to see what would happen if I defeated him and waited until the moment he would teleport to the beginning. So I decided to keep the peasants out of the fight because even I can't predict what I'm going to do afterwards. Plus, they were my main source of gold income. So it looks like he gained about 50 additional footmen from the dwelling. Not a big deal though. Right off the bat, my Hellhounds could reach the Cavaliers and Griffins, so I had a hard time picking a single target. The Cavaliers are tanky, fast, and high damage, so it's better to deal with them faster. And on the other hand, there are the Griffins that can fly onto my ranged units, so I have to waste turns not shooting and moving them out of the way. So I ended up going for the Griffins. And after one dilemma comes another. Who do I shoot? At this moment I was concerned about 3 stacks. Cavaliers, the Angels, and the Inquisitors. While it would take a moment for the Angels and Cavaliers to reach me, the Inquisitors would shoot and deal a bunch of damage to my ranged units. Anyhow, I decided to shoot at the Cavaliers with my Hunters, after all, and deal with the Marksman stack with my Archers. Just so that there is one less thing bothering me. Then the Cavaliers fell after a retaliation, but yeah, that's quite a bit of damage. Yeah, just as I said. he took the Confusion spell scroll. I hope that doesn't come biting me back. Damn. That's a lot. I buffed my largest hunter stack with Righteous Might. And threw down a gate with my Horned Demons. Now, I know that I could have used my gating with the Hellhounds here, but I did not want to waste an opportunity to do something useful. So instead I went for the Inquisitors, where I also got a lucky attack. As well as I got another lucky attack with my retaliation on the Footman. Okay, so far so good. I just need to deal with the Angels. Oh boy, I'm gonna need a lot more than this. Okay, never mind. Very good. Well, damn, they deal no damage. I hope that doesn't come biting me back. So, I just took out the rest of the marksman stack with them. I finally used gating with my Hellhounds, after which I had to attack with them. Otherwise, the Angels would just take out a good chunk of them right after. So, I went for the Angels and got lucky again. Hell yeah! Thank you for your service. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Okay, at least it's not another Confusion cast. Then I put Righteous Might on my other Hunter stack. Since my Horned Demons had appeared, blocking the Inquisitors, I continued targeting the Angels. The conscripts got too close for comfort, so I targeted them here. Oh boy, they deal absolutely no range damage while the spell is active, and it was not running out anytime soon. I hope that doesn't come biting me back. I went to finish off the conscripts here, but I did not really consider that the Angels would reach me from the other side. Well, okay then. And I also should have targeted the Inquisitors here, which would block them from shooting, but okay. Well, my bad. I ran away with my hunters and began ganking up on the Angel stack. Wait, no! Why is this bug happening now? Ugh. Okay, never mind. I fixed it. Damn, what a good hit. And then Godric casted Word of Light. Okay. I went to defend my hunters with my Hellhounds. And okay, the rest of the fight was just cleanup. okay, there we go. Godric is down. And it looks like, along with the confusion spell, Godric also had the Ring of Vitality. But other than that, nothing more. And after waiting for the time when the teleport would trigger, nothing happened. I suppose that the fact that the blue player was defeated would be enough to get the same answer, but I tested it out anyway. So instead, I loaded to a previous save, sometime before I collected the Hellhounds from their dwellings, and that is also exactly what I did afterwards. Then I cleared the whites, guarding the hill fort. I decided to do this now because I was already nearing a good point with my army. Judging by the fact that I managed to defeat Godric already, even before I got the chance to upgrade any of my units. When I headed back to the surface, it actually looked like Godric was coming after me. But didn't he just run away from me a moment ago? Weird. While heading upwards, I also grabbed any stat boosts along the way, to not worry about this later, when I'm going after the hill fort for unit upgrades. I also wanted to see if Godric would actually attack me, or was that just a coincidence of our paths crossing. And okay, he actually went past me. But let's try that out another time. And okay. Wait, why is my luck attribute red? And why did +2 move it only up to +5 if I had +4 before visiting the Fountain of Fortune? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember luck being capped in Tribes of the East. But then again, I might be wrong. So after doing a bit more back and forth action with Godric, I had the following army, and all funded by the 1000 peasants. I did some quick math and then proceeded to wait until I had around 80,000 gold, which should roughly be enough to upgrade everything I need. While I was waiting, I also picked up a few units along the way, because why not? And at one point, when I was nearing my gold goal, I said that enough is enough, so I just went straight for the hill fort. But before doing this, I decided to take a peek at what's being sold at the artifact merchant. As if I would even buy anything. Hey, that would have been useful quite a while ago. Oh well. So, after upgrading everyone, I decided to get rid of the Horned Demons in order to free up some space for split stacks of ranged units. And this is what I was left with. Perfection. With that being said, I was finally ready to take on Godric. Since I was able to defeat him earlier, there's no doubt that I will be able to do it this time as well. Though I will try to do this better than before. And would you look at that? I'm able to reach and hit both the Griffins and the Cavaliers. However, this time I decided to use the gating ability. After which the Griffins just came right to me and hit my Hellhounds. Alright. I focused my hunter shots on the Inquisitors and moved my Cerberus out of the way so that neither the Angel nor the Cavalier sack would be able to reach them. Then I moved my conscripts and squires so that they would block the big stacks from reaching my ranged units. Oh boy, that damage is just wonderful. Godric casted Forgetfulness, however it was on one of the marksman stacks. As well as the situation in this battle is already looking way better, so it's nothing to worry about. Having max luck is also really beneficial, like, look at this Cerberus stack hitting the Angels. Absolutely insane. Anyhow, there isn't really much to say about this battle anymore, as there's only cleanup left, so I will just let it play out until the end. And there we go. Godric is down. Again. But this time for real. Okay, great. Now all that was left was the Garrison. If compared to the Godric fight, the Garrison should be even easier as there is no strong hero buffing all of the units, meaning that they will both deal less damage as well as take more damage from my attacks. So I grabbed all of the extra stats from the stat boosting adventure map objects and headed towards the Garrison. Oh, and look at that. They're even warning me not to attack it. Let's see how well guarded it actually is. I already set my Cerberite to be somewhat in the middle of the battlefield in order to reach the enemy stacks. I was also not concerned about losing a bunch of them as there's really nothing else to do after this fight. And I also don't think that there is much that I can add here, so I will just let the battle play out. So there we go. Both main fights are done. Though I'm curious, what's behind the Garrison? Let's see. And it looks like there is nothing interesting to see apart from Erasial. I was curious if he would attack me from here, and it looks like he doesn't. Even if I'm right behind him. But does defeating him cause any issues? Even before that one cutscene appears. And no, it just plays the final cutscene and successfully ends the mission. Alright, that is going to do it for this video. Just like the Garrison fight from the previous seemingly impossible fight video, it was pretty interesting tackling this challenge and finally overcoming it. While editing the video, I realized that I didn't really mention the time when I attacked Godric and the Garrison. So, before attacking Godric, it was day 1 of week 4 of month 15. And before attacking the Garrison, it was day 1 of week 2 of month 16. But this also includes the time that it took to get to these fights, during which I did not really pick up any more new units, so that's that. For anyone who is wondering, this took me around 6 hours of game time based on the length of my recordings, which also include me sitting AFK for about an hour in total, so I would say that it was more like 5. There's also another topic of discussion that I would like to bring up. This channel is not a full-time project of mine, at least not at this moment in time. Thus, I can't really afford to work on the videos as much as I would want to. And with that being said, I cannot really promise a specific new video schedule, especially if the video length may vary from video to video. And as you may or may not know, but editing a video that is longer than 30 minutes takes some time. And I always prioritize quality over quantity. So there may be varying delays between these videos. and I really hope you understand. Though I might try some other things out in regards to the format of the videos. For example, dividing certain map playthroughs into multiple videos, so that each one would be, let's say, up to 10 minutes in length. But then again, there are videos like this one, which is not really divisible in any reasonable way, so it's just not as simple. So yeah, again, I hope you understand. And as always, any feedback is welcome. But yeah, that's about it. So I would just like to say thank you if you have made it this far. And I hope that you enjoyed.